person who comes to look for your mother or your father's good friend or a cousin. Look out for the signs of what they're doing or what their eyes are roaming. You have to learn how to know those signals. Again, I'm asking for the mic to be muted, please. Arlene, could you mute your mic? I'm getting a feedback in my earphones. I'm sorry. Thank you. Now, more than 90% of abusers are people children know, and we said that, and they love and they trust. And they won't ever report this abuse because for the same reasons, they love them and they trust them. Is anybody going to believe when a child says, Mommy, this person has been abused, and the mother says, no, lie, that's not true. And we know that happens right here in Jamaica. So they don't want to lose that person. They don't want to feel that person, you know, they're telling any, taking tales out of school on these persons that they love and they trust. Now, sorry, I'm sorry, my thing has just frozen on me. Okay, so no, we don't like to hear the word suicide, but suicide is the second leading cause of death in children and adolescents. This is in the US. Suicide is also the second leading cause of death in ages 15 to 29 globally. But here in Jamaica, suicide, we have attempted suicide. We have suicides too, but attempted suicides have increased. 60% are below the age of 25 of these attempted suicides in Jamaica. Recently, we heard about 3 suicide cases, 1 2-year-old and 2 8-year-olds. Now, can you imagine? And what has happened recently is that because of COVID, children are feeling so distressed and they're, you know, exposed to violence. They are impulsive, they get aggressive, they show disruptive behavior, they have access to firearms. They're also abused, bullying. They're bullied online, at school, and everywhere. Church, yes, church. They have a feeling of hopelessness and helplessness. And also, they have experienced some acute loss or rejection. And so these are some of the factors that may lead them to want to commit suicide or even just think of it. And so I'm speaking now to our students online here with us this evening. Just remember that God loves you, and sometimes you're really gonna feel as if you are just down and out and you just can't go on because of all that's happening. Just remember, speak to your Kiwanian president or your faculty advisor, speak to an adult, speak to someone, let them know what you're going through. And our Kiwanians need to be able to help with the faculty advisor, to help them to, you know, counsel these kids and tell them to go to the guidance counselor, etc. But don't leave them to just try to solve some of these problems that they have on their own. That's why we're Kiwanis. We're here to help them. So we want you to know that we love you and we are here for you all. Now, Kiwanis protection, the youth protection guidelines or policies. We want to protect, we want to educate and engage all Kiwanis members, youth and adults. And what do? It teaches you how to protect youth members from predators. It empowers and educates adult members with best practices when working with the youth. It also will help us to provide youth with positive skills development tools designed to inspire and engage our future leaders. So we have all of this at our fingertips. All of this is in your youth protection guidelines. And so we want you to know that Kiwanians, you need to be able to log on and get this information. Tonight, what we're doing is just a tip of the iceberg. So you need to continue your education online with the youth protection policies and guidelines. Now, youth protection policies, it's accessible. It's high quality training. And we have lots and lots of resources. Kiwanis is a university, and we know that. There is nothing that you need to know about Kiwanis and our children that's not there. It's all there for you. The background checks, we're going to talk about background checks and beyond. We're going to also talk about culture of care, which is fairly new, but we are going to get a little deeper into it tonight. Now, we started out by saying youth protection is what we are learning tonight. And I want everybody to understand that once you log on to kiwanis.org, you can get any of these information right at your fingertips. Policies and procedures, background checks, youth protection training, culture of care, and also information to a helpline that is available. The education that we provide through the youth protection policy is great. Every Kiwanis club is expected to inform and educate its members on these policies, the best practices and required actions for individuals who have become aware of youth in potentially harmful situations. So there's no excuse for us. The information is all there. We have forums that are put on by the district and workshops, and these can be accessed at our conventions and conferences. Under the club leadership education, it's not really available now, the youth protection policies are not really available under the current club leadership education.
You're muted there.
You're muted.
I think they must have muted me. You're hearing me now?
Yes, your mic is on.
Yeah, I think the host probably is muting everyone because there are persons who still have their mics open and it distorts what I'm saying in my mic. So I'm really asking if everyone could just mute their mic, but don't mute me, host, please. All right, so we were saying that you log on to kiwanis.org and you can see where there are training slides that will take you through these youth protection policies. Now, in the right-hand corner of my screen, you will see a document. Now, this document is a pre-said document for the youth protection policies. This document can be downloaded and printed. And I'm asking that Kiwanis clubs, you download this, print them, keep them for your members. When you have new members, you have inducted new members, you place one in their package that they get so that they can have it. And everybody needs to have one. This is really a good document for you to have, just like your bylaws. And when you're in doubt, just look at it and you will see it is really telling you in a pre-said form what we are going through tonight, okay? Now, we said training and courses, educational courses are just in abundance in Kiwanis. One such course is the Presidium course. And Presidium is really a training course that will take you through the training for chaperones, and all Kiwanis SLP advisors are asked to make sure that they go through these modules. And if you need to get more information, you just log on to Youth Protection and you will get to see exactly how you can benefit from doing this course, this Presidium course. Faculty advisors are not really required to complete the courses, but it's good if our faculty advisors would gain access and just look through. And I know we have faculty advisors on tonight, but this is also very important if you want to log on and get some more information on the Presidium course that is offered by Kiwanis International. Now we come to the background checks. And I've had so many inquiries about background checks. Why should I do background check? Do I have to do it if I have one already? That because I had a job in the United States and I have a background check, do I need to do it? Why do you want me to why do they want to get into my personal, and just a myriad of things that persons ask. But hey, background checks are required for anyone who is involved as a Kiwanian advisor or a faculty advisor. And you know your Kiwanian advisors for all of the SLP clubs, Circle K, Key Club, Builders Club, K Kids Club, and Action Club. You must have your background check done, and it has to be done by Kiwanis International. Now, I know that North St. Andrew has quite a long list of SLPs, and I would sincerely hope that all of their Kiwanian advisors have their background checks done. If recently you have had any correspondence from KI saying that your Kiwanian advisor who is on their dashboard is no longer there because they do not have a background check, you need to get in touch with us. We need to speak because you need to replace them, or you need to make sure you get their background check done as quickly as possible. But no Kiwanian advisor can remain an advisor if they do not have their background check done. And this has to be done by Kiwanis International. And so we come to faculty advice. And faculty advisors, I want you to just listen carefully to what we're saying. Now, you are a faculty advisor who works with your sponsoring club. You work together with the Kiwanian advisor because you're a team. And so when we're taking our kids out on a trip, or if they have to stay overnight, they have to go to a convention, the faculty advisor must know what is required. And our sponsoring club also needs to know what is expected of that sponsoring club and what is expected of the faculty advisor. Now, if you are a faculty advisor who you're not going to go out on trips with the children, you are just staying at school and you're having your Kiwanis meetings and you have your little things on campus there at school, you are not leaving the premises with the children and you're not spending any overnight trips. Your school background check is sufficient, because I know that teachers all have background checks done by the government. That is sufficient because you're not taking the kids anywhere, you're not leaving the premises. However, you as an advisor should still have our Kiwanis youth protection policy. You should know about it and you should adhere to the standards of both the policies and your school standards. So to tell you that if you are a faculty advisor, you're not going out with the children, you are not required to have the Kiwanis international background check done, okay? However, if you are a faculty advisor that you are going to be going out with the children, and we know that parents really wants a teacher to be out there with the children while they're out on an event with Kiwanis. Parents feel comfortable to know that a teacher is traveling with the children. This faculty advisor who will attend to events outside of school activities and spend overnights with students, they are required to have the Kiwanis background check done. They will have to also take the Presidium Chaperone training course, okay? And they must annually review our youth protection policies. Now, all of this, how is this going to be done? So this is why you have your sponsoring club, and we're talking to the sponsoring club tonight, and that the sponsoring club will always try to make sure that the faculty advisor is doing the right thing. All right, so faculty advisors, if you wish to ask me any questions about this, you may ask me at the end of the presentation. But just remember that yes, you are required to have a background check done by Kiwanis if you are a faculty advisor that's going to go off campus with the children, spend days with them overnight. If you are just staying and conducting meetings at school, you really don't need to have the Kiwanis on, but you definitely would have had your background check done by your school through the government. That would be sufficient. Let's come to chaperones. Now, before we used to take our children out, and we're all chaperones. We would ask our key clubbers to do a joint project with us if we're taking a builder club out, or if we're taking a K-Kid out, which is the babies. And they would do a joint project and they come along with us and we ask them to help us with the children. So too, with our Circle K members, we would ask them to join us because they will be there to help us. Now, what Kiwanis is saying, a chaperone must be 21 years or older. You can't be 18, you can't be 20. You must be 21 years older, all right, to be a chaperone. And all chaperones must have the background, a clear background check done. So we come back to the faculty advisor, they have to have all chaperones. And there are some points where parents would like to be involved fully and also want to be chaperones. When we know these things, we can invite parents of students to do their background check so that they can be a chaperone for overnight stays, etc., etc. Chaperones must complete the Kiwanis International Youth Protection Training. They must also follow all applicable youth protection policies and procedures. And we are now going to get into the ratio of chaperones to students. And all this is very important for SLP members to listen and understand, because too, they can ask questions of their chaperones or of their Kiwanian advisor or of their faculty advisor once they know exactly what it is to be happening. So let us look at this. Each overnight Kiwanis sponsored event must have a minimum of 1 chaperone per 10 students. I go as far as to say each event, not necessarily only overnight. We're taking the children out on a fun day. We're taking the children to church service. You must have at least 1 chaperone to every 10 students. Chaperone with the background check. Adult chaperones must include 1 adult male for each 10 youth males or in a part of. So if you have 12, you must have 2 chaperones. And the same goes for the females. Adult female to 10 youth female or in a part of. This is very important. A scenario is church service, key club or builders or any of our SLP church services. We know that Kiwanians love to attend these church services because, you know, it is just so exciting and we see all these hundreds of children. Now, when we see all 500 children and you look and you might see 20 Kiwanians, that ain't no good. That's not good, because you need to have a proper ratio of adults to the students that you have taken care of. And the reason for this is that we have to have enough persons out there to assist in making sure that things go right, because lots of things can go wrong at any function that we have where our youth is involved. They need to be protected, and we have to know how to protect them. Adults may not share sleeping quarters with students unless it's their own child, or if it's in a camp setting, but you cannot share sleeping quarters with students, eh? So SLPs, no adult should be sharing your room while you're out at convention unless it's your parent, your mother or your father, okay? Or if it's in a setting of a camp situation, and then, you know, that camp will be open and so on. All right, so we want you to understand that. If you don't understand it, jot down your question, I will answer at the end. Now, when it comes to social media is what is really happening now. And we are online with, I think by now I can't see, but we're probably over 70 persons online, including our youth. So there are some practices that we need to have, and we need some protocol that we need to follow while we are online with our youth or even without our youth. Now, for Kiwanians, it's best to connect via a club page. And I would think, all of our clubs have a club page. You have your Instagram page, you have your Facebook. Connect with them instead of using your individual page or asking for any of the youth members' accounts. Don't do that. Never initiate following, friending, or liking posts. And I'm going to explain liking posts in a minute. And pages of individual students. We know what it is to friend a person, right? And we know what it is to follow. The more you follow, the more the more likes you get, etc., etc. And so it means a lot to some person. It means a lot to us Kiwanis too. Liking posts of persons or youth who have posted very educational stuff, things that are edible and we can relate to and we can learn from. Yes, you may like those posts. Okay, so you click on like because you want to really develop those individuals or youth. You want to develop because they have put something out there that is really good for other youth to emulate. Never post pictures of youth, Kiwanians. Never post pictures of the youth on your personal social media pages. So don't go put in a Circle K or a Key Clubber, on your personal Bev cover at whatever. Don't do that. Or on your page, your Instagram page or so. We must have permission to post pictures. Now we've just gone through the one day, and one day had everybody doing lots of things. Lots of pictures were all over the place. And I know because of Kiwanis, of our training that we have been doing with youth protection, a lot of the rules were followed. And so if you were going to post a picture of a youth on your social media pages, you have to have permission from the guardian or from the faculty or from the parents. All right, we have had problems already where a picture of a youth came out on the front page of the Observer some time ago, and it caused a problem because we did not get permission to put that child's photo in the newspaper. So sometimes you go to functions, to projects, and it's in a home, and the first thing the house mother would ask you is, are you going to be taking pictures? Or she will say, no, we don't want any pictures taken. Or if you're going to take pictures, she has to give permission. And there's sometimes that pictures are taken, and of course, the eyes are blocked out or the face is blocked out. We don't want you to go posting on social media pages pictures of our youth. Follow the rule of 3 at all times, which would include parents, you're getting permission from parents or guardians, or another adult. If you're in difficulty and you're not sure what you're about, speak to your club president, a faculty advisor, your Kiwanian advisor, your district administrator, Chris, your ADA, Audrey, or myself. Call us and just ask us, how do I do this? Don't go doing stuff that you really are not supposed to do. We don't want any problems, okay? And Incidentally, I should have told you that Kiwanis, we know, are doing a risk management report. And this risk management report will give us facts and figures about what we are speaking about now. So we're waiting for that to come out so that everybody will understand that these things are happening in Kiwanis. Some of these things are happening, and some Kiwanis are being sued in some areas. So we'll await that information so that you can understand how important it is to know what to do and what not to do. Of course, those are your Facebook and your Instagram and so on. Now, this is very important, fellow Kiwanians, what we're going to speak of next. Safe virtual SLP club meetings. We are now on a club meeting where we have our youth and our faculty that they're all here with us. Now, on this meeting, we know we have quite a few persons on with background checks, but we have had meetings before with the youth that there's just no adult on with a background check. We have to make sure that when you're having your youth visiting, that you have someone in the house that has a background check done and is there to monitor all the things that can go wrong. And remember, what it does, it discourages the one-on-one engagement, the not so healthy engagement, the one-on-one, because you have the chat room, persons can chat individually with each other, and this will help hold the student members and the other advisors or chaperones accountable to the code of conduct and to that know that they're following the protocol and guidelines. And so we're saying, regardless if you have 30 youth or 5, we recommend that you have at least 2 adults on your meeting. Now, we also know that when we have these meetings, especially at a club like North St. Andrew, you have a lot of SLPs. And this is the month family, or Kiwanis Family Month. This is Key Club Week, and you're having a lot of visitors from our SLP. We are asking that at the end, and I know that you do this, and some other clubs do too, at the end when you're wanting to close your meeting now, and you want to let your hair down, and you want to have fun, because that's what's happening now a lot, because it's not a face-to-face meeting, it's virtual, and everybody wants to feel, oh boy, yeah, let's let our hair, let's play some music, let's drink a juice and just have some great time after the meeting. I have been on meetings and I have heard club presidents monitoring how many of our youth are still on, and they check, and they will kindly say, no, sorry, we have closed our meetings to your SLPs, so we're asking you to log off, and they do so. It has happened before. Because our kids, they will want to stay and listen to what's going on. But most clubs that I have been monitoring, and they have also been monitoring their toast at the end with their glass filled up with ice and maybe a little drink in it, you know what I mean? And they have been monitoring that, and what they do say, I've seen that happen so many times, is all they say is, let us move a toast to Kiwanis International, etc. Because why? The youth is on, and we want to teach them what is right. And youth, I'm telling you, SLP members, this goes for you in terms of what I'm going to say now. We also want you, as our young adults and youth, to be careful of how you conduct yourself while you are online in a club meeting. And when you are going to be visiting with your club, you need to advise your club, your sponsoring club, or any other club that you're going to go, that we will be visiting with you today. Our delegation will be there. So expect us, and you will introduce your delegation. You open your mic, you open your video camera, and you make yourself known and seen. And we, both adults and youth, we must dress appropriately while we are online. So most of you would have your uniforms on. For us Kiwanians, we either have our Kiwanis shirt or we're dressed appropriately from head to toe, because you may be asked to stand. President had asked us to stand at the beginning for the national anthem. What happens if you stand and you're not appropriately dressed? That could be embarrassing. So we should at all times be well attired. Our background, virtual backgrounds, should have the appropriate backgrounds there. And we have a lot of Kiwanis backgrounds. The only problem is that there's some computers that really can't take the background, virtual backgrounds. We have to learn. I know I have to learn to get my background on, because there's so many fabulous backgrounds that we can put up. But you have to learn how to do it, and you use it whenever. You do not put up any little thing, throw anything at the back of your thing, because people are seeing it. People are seeing if persons are moving around in your space, and if the dog is barking, or if somebody is going to talk, or knife and forks chopping up and all of that. We have to be very careful. So noisy backgrounds, we have to minimize. And Kiwanians, I'm also asking that, remember, when we are online, especially when our youth is with us, we try to keep all these things minimum. We really don't turn on your mic. Sometimes your mic comes on without even knowing, So we have to be really very vigilant and keep those mics off, because you can hear some things that you really don't want to hear. Okay? Now, when it comes to transportation, at least 3 persons in a car. We sometimes used to take our little ones because we say, boy, them little bit man, we can cram them into a car. But you must have space for 3 adults, and these adults, one of them must have a background check. You're not going to take any children out in your car without somebody in the car that has a clear background check done. Okay? Students always ride in the back. Make sure that your students are comfortably seated in the back. If it's a bus, yes, you're going to have space for everybody, but you have to make sure that all students are seated. Nobody should be standing, to avoid any accidents. Remember too, when you're taking children out, when we're taking the kids from their school premises, approval must be sought from the parent or guardian. We are accustomed to that. We have been doing that for years. But I think that sometimes it doesn't happen. But now we're asking that you are vigilant, that students do not bring in a fake approval. So this is why you and the faculty advisors, the sponsoring club through their Kiwanian advisor, must have a good relationship with the faculty advisor, because they know the parents. They can say, oh no, this is not that parent's signature. Always remember, when you're taking the kids out, always ask for these approvals. You must see. And somebody mentioned the other day that it would be good if you got copies. There are some schools that when the students arrive at school for the first time, they get all the information that they need from them, and it's on their file. So that also will help. Somebody has a radio on, so we're asking, please. Medication. The possession of prescription drug items should only, or non-prescription drug items should only be allowed with written permission from the parent or guardian. So yes, a child has asthma, he or she is asthmatic. Of course, they're going to travel with their pump, or if they're diabetic, they're going to travel with their whatever it is that they take. We as Kiwanians, we're not supposed to be giving any prescribing, giving them their drugs if we are not allowed to do so, and if we don't have the permission. So here's where planning is so important. Because if you're planning a fun day, you are going to plan this fun day or a sports day, we're keeping in mind that you need to have a medical station where you'd have the proper personnel, trained personnel there, just in case of anything happening, they can administer, but the child must have written permission. So here's what it looks like. A form that looks just like this is to be signed off. The authorization to attend the event and to administer emergency medical treatment. This is very, very important. We don't want a child, as simple as it might seem, they have a headache and they come to us and, Miss, I'm having a headache, Miss. And you go into your handbag and you take out a Panadol or even child Panadol syrup or whatever. Then the child reacts because you don't know if they're allergic to this. Never, never administer any drug without getting the permission or sending them to the medic station where they can be properly treated as long as there is an authorization giving you this privilege of doing this. Reporting. Now, this reporting is important for us to understand and to remember that when we take the kids out of their school, lots of things can happen. And we know some of the things that can happen, right? They're excited, they get on a bus, and they're so excited that some of them have some plans to do some things that's not good, right? And there's talk on the bus about it. And if you hear that, you need to check it out immediately. And I don't have to go in details of some of the things that can happen, right? You must report a situation that is illegal or potentially unsafe for a young adult at a Kiwanis event. And you have to report it. Must report it. Don't leave it unattended. If this happens after the function has taken place, because you had a fun day, something went down with two students, a boy and a girl, something happened, nobody spoke about it, but yet somebody saw what happened. But the chaperones were just too busy looking about themselves and not paying attention. It could even be just that somebody slipped, fell, hurt themselves, but they didn't report it. What you have to do, you heard about it after because now somebody came to you and said, Miss, John fell and we're not sure if he broke his leg or something. You now have to quickly deal with that. You have to find John and you have to make sure John is okay. If it requires that you have to go to the hospital with John right away, then you will have to do so. But do not turn a blind eye as to what had happened, or if you hear that something untoward is happening on the bus while going to the event. You need to pay close attention. We don't want 6 weeks after this beautiful function that we had, parents or a parent would go back to the school to say something had happened to their child on this particular day when they went out with Kiwanis. And you know that means trouble. There's a youth protection helpline, but we can't really access this because this is an 866 number, all right? I've never really tried to access it, but I don't think we can access it. However, this hotline is staffed 24 hours with professionals. And what it is saying is that if something happens, if you can access it, you're able to speak to someone who would then route the call to a youth protection team. Here in Jamaica, I would say to you all that we have a team, which I named before, and you can always call us to say something has happened, or you can speak to your LG or your president or whomever about what had happened. Don't leave it unattended. Kiwanis background checks. Now we come to this section where persons really want to know why I must do a background check. Now, when you look at this matrix here in front of us, you see the KI International Board, they have they're doing their background checks, district governors, everybody there are trying to get their background checks done, and they have done so. They have reviewed the youth protection policy. While I'm at that too, I would like to advise secretaries that once your youth protection policy has been, like tonight, we're doing this training, you need to, secretary, go online and indicate that the youth protection training had taken place. You need to send that in on your dashboard to Kiwanis on your reports. Okay, so persons, you're not all required to do the Presidium course, but as I said before, it's important. It has you can learn a lot, especially for our advisors. You can learn a lot. For the teachers, for our faculty advisors, and you're not a Kiwanis member, your current back, we spoke about that already, that you should have your background check if you're serving as a chaperone and you're leaving the premises of the school. But you ought to review the youth protection policy, and everything else is optional. Faculty advisors, optional. Now, all, and I'm going to say it again because it is right up there, all Kiwanis, SLP Kiwanis advisors must have a Kiwanis cleared background check. When we just started, we were advocates for everybody having this background check done. And we were even saying, listen, put it as a part of this 25 US dollars, make it a part of your fees, your club fees, okay? Only thing is that we had to really back off a little because the cost for the background check for a Kiwanian advisor or for the faculty advisor is 25 US dollars for 2 years. If you are not an advisor or a faculty advisor, you will have to pay more to have the background check done. And non-members will need to be manually sent the application. So when you go on to apply, if you are not a Kiwanian advisor or faculty advisor, you need to say that and they will guide you appropriately. All right, but Kiwanis employed, partnered with Safe Hiring Solutions to conduct these searches for US and the Caribbean. And so in what they're asking you to do is to make sure that you log on and have the right information there while you're completing the form. Don't start completing the form, then you get up and you go somewhere. Because I've had persons complaining that they started applying and boy, them couldn't bother with the form anymore. And they just got, and they would have expected that they want to come back and pick up at the point that they left off. No, sit down and do your background check straight through. For the Caribbean and the US, you need to contact backgroundchecks@kiwanis.org. And when you do that in the form of an email, you will get a link that it will be sent to you and you will complete the information that is needed. Okay, and I spoke about the vendor who is Safe Hiring. They were hired to do this job for us. And remember too, folks, that Kiwanis International, it is being subsidized. The cost, that 25 US dollars is subsidized by Kiwanis. So when you pay 82 or 84 because you're not a Kiwanian advisor, that is not even the true cost of doing the background check. Okay, I have asked and I've sent a letter, an email to KI asking if we could just have the same fee for everyone. I haven't had a response as yet from KI as to that, but they would be looking into that matter. Now, all you need when you're doing the application form is your passport or your ID card, and that could be your Jamaican ID. I'm not suggesting your driver's license, but that too, but they specifically here says your passport or ID card. When you're signing up on the form, it might ask you for your social security number. We don't have any social security number. You just populate that with 9999. The form has been upgraded, and so the drop-down boxes would include information that wasn't there before. And one such information is your state. It now has Caribbean. So you just tick the Caribbean and you will be all right. If you come across any snag, you need to call us. Write to me or anyone in the team that I call, and we will try to sort it out for you. I know persons have had difficulties here. Now, remember, Kiwanians, we are not getting into your finances. We're not going to your banks and asking how much money you have or anything like that. We just want to know, Kiwanis International just want to know that you are a suitable candidate to be an advisor looking after our children. We know that lots of people are out there that are not suitable to be working with our kids, but they do have a position. And so we're asking you to just really take this seriously and get your background check done once you are a Kiwanian advisor or a faculty advisor. I want to also state here that I've been advising clubs that you may pay for your Kiwanian advisor or your faculty advisor out of your club funds, and we will get to that in a minute. Secretary, we're asking you to make sure that you guide your president and your team as to where they are with their background checks, your Kiwanian advisors, when will it expire, and assist them in reapplying once it has expired. This is just some matrix on the youth protection compliances in in North America with the figures. Now, these figures have increased recently because more persons are becoming aware of the youth protection compliance. And so more persons are reporting on the completed annual training. More persons are getting their advisors to do background checks and so on. Club secretaries, I started to tell you that you must consistently monitor the background check status of your club advisors. And the information is right there on the dashboard. You can go in, look at it. Now, presidents and secretaries and LGs, we also advise, or we're asking you kindly to do your background check. You're going to pay a little more, but it would be good if we have you doing it. We have our trustees who have done theirs, and so it really would be nice if the leader of the pack would just lead by example. Even though you have to pay a little more, yes, but try and encourage your secretary, and because what happens, and it says it's here, it says it's right here. We're going to create a plan to replace Kiwanian advisors if needed. Now, if you create that plan and you have a group of Kiwanians who are interested, and North St. Andrew has a lot of new, fresh Kiwanians who have joined, and I would think they're encouraging them to get their background checks done, because you can pull from that resource there. So if a Kiwanian advisor was taken off because they didn't have a background check, it would be easy for you to just find somebody within that pool of Kiwanians who have a background check to make them into an advisor, and that would be fine. All right, there's going to come a time, and I'm telling you, a few years from now, our dues will reflect Kiwanian, the background check cost. Don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm sure it's going to happen. Take my word for it, it's going to happen, because it stands to reason. We are Kiwanians, we serve the children of the world. So, stands to reason, all of us should be eligible to serve our children without having any doubt that we can do it, because we don't have any, any ghosts in our closets. And I remind you again that you can budget for this annually. It's 25 US for Kiwanis advisors and faculty advisors. It can come from your admin or your service account. And it would be good, and faculty advisors are on listening, it would be good if your sponsoring club would assist you in getting this background check done, because you never know when you're going to have to go on the road to an event with the children under the Kiwanis banner. So it really just makes sense to me that you all have a background check done and it's lasted for 2 years. Okay, so let's think about it in those terms, right? Now the goal is to really reach 100%. And everybody I speak to, all the members in the ECNC, we want ANC to be on top of this thing. All right, so we're looking forward to having 100% compliance for all our advisors with their background checks. And you can help us reach that, I can tell you. Just think about it, just buy into it, and know that it's something good that we are doing. So now we're gonna quickly speak about creating a culture of care. This is the latest and newest development for our key clubs and our circle cares. The Culture of Care initiative provides students with the training and resources to be leaders in their school. And if you log on to Youth Protection and click on Culture of Care, you will see all the things that can happen. And once they have these training and they're trained, they can help to prevent bullying, reduce incidences of violence, and to understand the healthy relationships, personal boundaries, and more. And this is what we are asking our key clubbers, and you're listening, to get involved with this program. It gives positive youth and adult development resources. It has all of that. Parents' resources on youth development, adult leaders' resources. Okay, and these workshops, there are workshops that you can participate in, and you will be presented with a certificate at the end of the workshops. And this will teach you a lot of things. You will be trained properly. Workshops have passed in April and July of this year, but we are looking out for upcoming workshops where we would really want our Key Club students to log on and to get more information. Also, our Circle K students, and their workshops would include dating and healthy relationships, because yes, they are at the age, and so they would learn more how to access resources on campus and how to be an upstander and not a bystander. Don't stand on the sideline. And also training of the trainer. All right, so again, we're looking out for these upcoming workshops, and we want our sponsoring clubs to make sure that their SLP programs, Key Club and Circle Cares, will have access. Just keep reminding them and ask them to log on to this program and sign up for some of these workshops as soon as it's available. What is next with this culture of care? What will happen is that it will expand, this whole culture of care will be expanded to more students. Once it starts getting around in the schools and the colleges, more students will be aware of it, and it will prevent anti-bullying, those conversations that people usually have about bullying of other students, they will know. And this Erica Lighthouse, it's really a program that would assist children that are in trouble, that, you know, and it's really for the Key Club now and builders, and we see little things happening, and this program will tell you how to deal with this. Youth Protection Week has passed, and I know that NSA was involved in their Youth Protection Week, and they did do some programs for their Youth Protection Week. Here again are the websites that you can go on: Youth Protection, Kiwanis.org, Youth Protection, background checks at Kiwanis.org, Youth Protection at Kiwanis.org, and Culture of Care. And I would ask our SLPs that when you have the time, log on and look at Culture of Care and see how your SLP can benefit from this program and speak to your sponsoring club or your faculty advisor or your Kiwanis advisor. Now, fellow Kiwanians and our SLPs, our faculty advisors and Kiwanis advisors, what I try to do is to go through just to whet your appetites with what it's all about, this youth protection policy. It's something new for a lot of Kiwanians, and they say that they really never knew all of this was happening. And so, yes, we are out to do more. And so you will be hearing more, because this youth protection policies and procedures, it's really going to go very far. And very soon, as I said before, you will be made into, well, you can have your background check done because it may form a part of your dues. So, President, it was my pleasure speaking to your Kiwanians online, and especially our SLP program, or our program SLPs who are online with us. It was my pleasure in sort of trying to explain. Now, if you have any questions at all, please, I need you to ask these questions so that I may be able to. And I know that ADA Audrey is on, and I know if there's anything I can't handle, she will be able to help us through it if she can answer some of the questions.
Thank you.
The floor.
Yes, thank you, DLG. Bev, I know there are some questions. Well, I've seen Regene's hand from you started, that she's a builder at Halfway Tree Primary. But I know that there are some Kiwanians may have questions, so I'm going to ask you to just indicate by raising your hand. But Regine, you have a question, you can go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Cargill. From Miss Beverly Thompson starts when it was about the children. She was on the topic about rape and was not supposed to talk to strangers. I was asking if also if a person has been like abused by their partner, you can also report on the website, right? I was just asking, Miss Beverly.
Okay, so let me see if I understand what you're saying. If you know someone or is being abused, what you would do in Jamaica here, you can report to the CDA, Child Development Agency, you can report it there. If you are out on a project and your teacher and your Kiwanian advisor and something is happening, yes, you can report it to your Kiwanian advisor or to your faculty advisor so that they can do something about it. And you are correct. Don't see something happening and it could be dangerous, report it. Even if you're sponsoring club, the president is there, you may speak to your president. But once you see something that's happening, you can report it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Thompson.
Welcome.
I'm also seeing Justin, another builder.
Yeah. I see Justin, another builder.
Justin,
yes.
go ahead.
Justin,
sorry, I never did have a question. I thought you did say to raise your hand if you were a builder's.
Okay.
And Justin, I'm so happy you raised your hand because you are a builder. And that is so great. We're so happy you're a part of the Kiwanis family. I'm sure you're enjoying it, aren't you?
Yes, miss, and I run in for Sergeant at Arms.
What? So you're going to find them and get some money for your club. Very good. Very nice.
Yes, miss.
Okay, thank you, Builder Justin. Are there any questions from our faculty advisors or our Kiwanian advisors or our members in general? Okay. Not seeing.
Question.
So,
yes.
Kiwanian Hoopton, I hear you, but I'm going to ask again if anyone would have a question, you raise your hands. But go ahead, Kiwanian Hoopton.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't raise my hand. I didn't get the instruction before. But
I'd also love to see Kiwani and Oakland. Can I see your face?
if I can find my camera, that might work.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Hopeton.
But I wanted to know if you are working as a Kiwanian advisor, do you have a length of time for which you should get your background check? Like background check should be done within 3 months of being, or within a month of being advised, or indicating that you want to work with children.
Okay, so yeah, so you have indicated, or your president or your SLP chairman has indicated, and you told them that you'd like to be a Kiwanian advisor, they should right away start to get the information together before you actually sit in that seat as the advisor. So I would say 2 weeks or so before, because it takes about 2 weeks to get it. And this is why I said, you know, it's really good if everybody really try to get it. I mean, it's costly for non-Kiwanian advisors, but once you're going to be a Kiwanian advisor, your club would assist you. And I'm speaking for, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, that your club would assist you in getting the 25 US done, but you should act on it right away. It takes 2 weeks, and you don't want where you have to do some work with your club and you don't have the background check done. So don't wait for 3 months or so. Once you have the thought that you want to be a Kiwanian advisor, you say it, and then the application can go in, and we'll let them know that you are going to be an advisor. Okay,
great.
Houghton?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay. I think I see.
Okay, I'm acknowledging, I'm seeing a Hutchins. I'm not sure which Hutchins that is, but I'm acknowledging that person, and then Paul.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Roger. My camera is not on because my background is inappropriate.
Okay. So you're gonna get that background fixed for the next one, right?
Yes,
great.
I listened to your advice, and I recognize that it's the validity of it.
Great.
And so I had to open my mouth quickly before I even ask my question.
Okay.
All right. My question is, and it's one on principle. Why should I pay to have me investigated?
You really.
It's on. I mean, 25 US is what, $3,000. But and it's not really a major amount. But on principle, help me. And it's not that I don't understand the need for background check.
All right, so we're a part of a global organization, international organization. And one of the rules that Kiwanis International has laid down is that all persons who are in charge of or have the desire to become a Kiwanian advisor working with our youth must have a clear background check done. This is a requirement. And so once you have signed up for this, we would think you're going to be following the guidelines. Just like how we have bylaws, we follow those bylaws. Kiwanis has now said that anybody who is working with the youth as an advisor needs to have a clear criminal background check done, and it will be done by their vendor, Safe Hiring, not somebody in Jamaica, not if you had one before, and so on. Now, we're wanting to investigate. I don't want to use the word investigate, but we want to make sure that you are clear. We have no reason to say, no, you can't be an advisor because of a past history. How would we ever know a past history if we don't check and you're working with the youth. And I can tell you, Mr. Kiwani and Hutchinson, that this is going to become the order of the day very soon. That
And I
background
understand.
checks need to be done. Yes.
I understand and appreciate. I follow that logic. My principle, the principle that I'm questioning is I am being asked to pay for me to be investigated.
Okay,
That's where
all right. So what, remember I said in my presentation that if you're desirous of becoming, are you a faculty, a Kiwanian advisor now?
I'm in train.
Okay, great. And you are going to have this awesome responsibility of caring for our kids. We're saying to the clubs, all right, so Kiwanian Hutchinson wants to become a Kiwanian advisor. Not St. Andrew, pay for him now. Pay for him and let him get his background check done. Pay for him, it's a part of the program. It's something that the club wants, it's something that KI wants and will have, because if you don't have it, you can't go up for being a Kiwanian advisor.
I understand.
And I understand where you're coming from, that 25 US, hey, you know, it's neither here nor there for some folks. But we are really encouraging the clubs to make it a benefit for the Kiwanian advisor, that more persons will come forward. And we also went as far to say that it's taken from your admin or your service account, where you can do fundraisers to have as many persons who wants to be faculty, Kiwanian advisors, to get their background checks done. We can only benefit from that. The clubs can only benefit because as soon as that risk management statistics hit the ground, we will then see how many lawsuits, how many cases have been brought before the law for Kiwanis and how much they would have had to pay out for certain things that have happened. So it's really we should really make sure that we have persons who, can you imagine you somebody joining the club? We don't know where this person, I may know you because Kiwanis says you bring in persons, your friends that you know, to join the movement. So you would have had information on this person. Can I tell you, Kiwanian Hutchinson, that years and years ago, there was a Kiwanian who a member brought her in, and we didn't have background checks. Well, we might have had it, but we weren't following all those things. Would you believe that someone, in seeing her picture posted in our bulletin, said, I know this person. And you know what? She had so and so and so and so, so and so and so and so. And when they checked it out, by golly, it was so true. She just resigned because she knew now that we were onto her case. And she resigned voluntarily. That could have been prevented if we were doing background checks, because then we would have known from before that this is not a suitable person to be looking after our dear precious, look at how precious they are. Look at their faces. We need to know how to take care of them, and we need to be responsible to take care of them.
LG, Bev.
I agree. I have no problem with it. Background checks, I support it wholeheartedly. My only thing is, I don't, on principle, just purely on principle, I honestly don't think I should be paying to have me investigated. Just on principle.
All right, Kiwani and Roger, we know that principle, and we will, I guess, as a club, address it and consider how we move forward. So thank you for your question and your comment. I'm going to ask.
If I may say, Pres.
I think.
Hold on, PVP, Mark, where DP Paul hand was up, so we're going to take him, and then you will be the final comment or question.
Thank you, Beth. Nice to see you again.
Hi, Paul.
Two questions, really. One is the the youth protection guidelines. It stops at Key Club. It does not extend to Circle K, even though Beth says someone still regard as youth, or does it?
Yeah, it does extend to Circle K's. Yes, it does.
That's the one.
It does. Yes, yes, because remember, Circle K's are also they're youth and they're going into young adults over 21, some of them. And they too can become chaperones at once they're over 21. And so it addresses them too. Yes.
Yeah, but a lot of them are not 21 when they go to university, when they become Circle K. So they would be regarded as youth and the youth protection guideline.
Yes. So, and we have to protect them also. Okay. Right.
And the other thing too is the thing about transport. You were talking about transport. You were saying that more than one Kiwanis have to be in a vehicle to transport a Key Club. Now, as I'm asking now, suppose the president of my Key Club comes to our meeting. You mean I'll have to get 2 other people in my car to carry her home?
To take her home. But that's what we're saying. It might sound not.
Yeah, because everybody that goes to meet and drive. So say, leave your car and come with me. That don't seem very practical to me.
Well, I can check that out for you, Paul. But my thinking is that you want to make sure that at least you have 2 other Kiwanians with you, that in case anything happens, they're there.
But I mean, you tell people to don't drive a car, don't go home, come with me, take them out the way. That seems a bit, I don't know.
Well, you need to consider, and you wouldn't want to put that person in a taxi either to send them home, because I think sometimes we do that. We give them taxi fares. Once they are under our care, we have to make sure that they get home safely and in the right company. So you're either going to get a group of you to say, let's take home Mary and make sure she gets taken home and dropped off at her gate, and not just you alone driving. And I don't want to prolong this, and I don't want to overemphasize anything. But really it's speaking to projects. You know, you're going out on a project. But you have brought up a point which is really a valid point in terms of a young Key Clubber wanting to take her home from meeting. You alone want to drop her home. Really, you should really have another Kiwanis, and you would have had your background check done already, so you can easily take her home, but you should have 2 others in the car going home, dropping her home with you.
Some information. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Delgy.
Okay. Yeah, man. Good seeing you, Paul.
Okay. Before we take your PVP, Mark, I know we have passed the time allotted for the meeting. I'm going to ask for a motion for 15 minutes from members to complete.
I so move, President.
May I have a seconder?
Seconded.
Move and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? Okay. Thank you. So
President, before you take PV, Paul have me thinking about that question he asked. And you know, all these years we have been doing such things. We have been taking our Key Clubbers, they come to our meetings and one person will pile up and take them all home. We have never stopped to think that something could have happened, and I'm the only Kiwanian who is there to speak of what could have really something disastrous. So when you think, and I would like Paul to think about it a little more, and I myself want to think about it, because I think that if we know that 10 Key Clubbers are coming to our meeting, 10 of them don't have rides home, we have to know, get cars to pool and get them home safely with other Kiwanians on board. We should really think about that now. So it really is whetting our appetites to think, rethink how we take what we do with our sponsored program when they come visiting with us. Okay, just wanted to say that.
Thank you, LG. PVP, Mark, and I'm seeing DP Winston. Those are the last two. PVP, Mark.
Yes, thank you, President. Excellent presentation. I wanted to come in just at the point of the member before DP Paul. The issue of background check is not uncommon. People do it for jobs. People do it for apply for visa. People do it as a matter of course in generally in sensitive areas, and sometimes it's not even in areas that has to do with children. And I think just like any other job that we do it for, or any other endeavor, we have chosen as individuals to serve the children of the world. And I think is in making that commitment that it behooves us to take all necessary steps to make sure that our children are safe, even from the point of view of how we do our prospecting and recommendation to the club beyond even just Kiwanian advisors. So I think it is a duty. We should see it more as a duty, so to do. And I look forward to the outcome of your deliberation, DLG of DP Paul's comment just now, because in our environment, it's, I'm not sure, but I look forward to the outcome of those deliberations.
Thank you very much, because I also want to say, Mark, that this thing is going to get bigger, because the more as you said, we signed up to become Kiwanians and to take care of the children. We serve. And another thing I wanted to also say is that even some persons go online and they take prospects from online because persons see our meetings or hear of it and want to join. We don't know anything about these persons. So it really would behove us to get to know these persons better before we even say join in. Yes, we're serving the children of the world, and so we have to be careful.
Oh, okay, our last question from DP Winston. Go ahead, DP.
It's not necessarily a question to DLG Bev. I know originally it was stated that 2 persons was supposed to be in the vehicle with an SLP. I don't know if it's a change for it to become 3 now, DLG Bev. But yes, I know originally it was 2 persons, and for many reasons, so that if something happens, then there's somebody to say other than who whatever happens to. So I don't know if it's a change to include a 3rd person, and yes, including a third person would be a little bit onerous, as DP Paul was arguing.
Right. So I'm going to check on that, but I know that the document that we have states 3 persons. I don't know if it's because of developments why they say 3. I can, and I've noted that to get further clarification, whether it's 2 or 3. Thank you, DP Winston.
You're welcome.
Thank you, DLG Bev. The presentation was excellent, and of course, the engagement that ensued afterwards is an indication of the thoughtfulness and the importance of this topic. Going to ask the treasurer to start sharing, but to do the official vote of thanks, I'll call on IPP Michael.
Thank you. Thank you, President. Good evening, DLG DLG Bev, sorry.
Okay, IPP Michael, I'm going to get you searched.
I don't know if it's payback for calling me President Michael earlier, but
probably.
DLG Bev, thank you very much for joining us this evening and for sharing your knowledge. The presentation, it's been 2 years since you've been presenting, and I have listened to quite a number of your presentations, and it never gets stale because it is such a critical presentation. And even just based off the questions and the comments at the end, it further emphasizes, because our youth program and our youth is very critical to Kiwanis and the mission of Kiwanis. As we are serving the children of the world, it is important that in serving the children, that we ensure that we also protect them, and therefore the youth protection guideline is geared exactly towards that. And you presenting it as you always do and did so ably this evening, it further emphasizes the need for it and the need for us to ensure that the persons that we put in the care of our children are the right persons with the right personalities and temperament and background. And so therefore, for your insightful and information-filled presentation, I would like to, on behalf of the men of the Kiwanis Club of North St. Andrew and many SLPs in the grouping, would like to thank you for your presentation this evening.
So much. Thank you very much, IPP Michael. And I just want to say good night to all my little builders and all the little K-kids, if you have any, and key clubbers and circle cares that are on.
And DLG, as you can see on the screen, we have something that will, even beyond my thanking you, will tangibly show that we appreciate your presentation.
Thank you again, IPP Michael and President Dwayne. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, DLG Bev, and thank you, IPP Michael, being prophetic, DP Michael. Okay, we're gonna ask if clubs that have announcements to just put it in the chat, and the secretary will read it once you have done so. And while you're putting your announcements in the chat, I'm gonna call on DP Winston Desarge to come at this
time. Thank you very much, President Dwayne, and I'll be quick. There were some members who were disturbing your meeting earlier with their mics open at the wrong time. I'm sure my good friend PP Dudley would have made note of them, because I know these activities annoys the hell out of him. So I know he has them recorded, and he'll be able to forward that list to the secretary.
Only that it is visitors, DP, visitors.
No man, some of our members. If you want, I can name some of them. There's Trevor, PVP Mark at one point in time, and I can name the rest. IPP Michael.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me, DP.
IPP Michael. After 6 years of training you to recognize the visitors and call them by their correct designation, you have dropped the ball, sir, right? And you are calling DLG Bev, DLG Gerslin, and I'm sure Gerslin would not want that.
It's just two of my favorite ladies, DP.
That's your personal business, not for the club. So
Sarge, I'm gonna have to.
you'll pay $500. And
Sarge, I have to correct that mic open thing. It's not a fault of mine. I was driving when it happened to get on to the meeting.
There's Trevor. It was your mic.
Yes, it was, and I was not aware because I was driving. I logged on while driving.
All right. You can speak to me off camera, but
No, man,
it's still your mic.
Let him be aware. Fine him,
Yeah,
let
man.
him
It's
be
still
aware.
no. The fine still stands.
Oh.
I'll teach him how to keep the camera, the mic off.
Or double it for arguing.
I'm a little bit lenient on him because he was driving and maybe still driving.
I can't believe you're telling me like that.
Part of life.
And
no problem.
Director Mark from afar. You pay $2 US for your fine, so your mic was one of them disturbing. And all other Kiwanians who have not committed any misdemeanor. Is that the right term, PP Dudley?
I think that's the right term, but at the outset of your sergeant, it means I'm going to be going three consecutive times now.
No, no. Can you allow me to finish?
Well,
all Kiwanis. Now you're going to help me with this one. That are on tonight. That was absent from meeting last Thursday will pay a fine of $200. And you can help me with that. I know you keep very good records. President, over to you, sir. Thank you very much.
No joke, Sarge.
All right, I'll attempt to answer. Three men and a young woman who are traveling on a train. The 4 passengers got talking and the chat soon takes a spicy turn. The young one proposed, if each of you give me $1, I show you my leg. The men, charmed by the woman, pulled $1 and gave it to her, and she showed them the leg. The woman says, if each of you give me $10, I show you my thighs. Again, they did the same and they saw the thighs. The woman continues, if you give me $100 each, I'll show you where I was operated on for appendicitis. All three had handed over the money. The woman then turns to the window and points outside at a building. There is it, you're passing. That's the hospital I did my appendicitis operation. Thank you, President.
What do you all think about that, Joe?
Deal.
Sergeant.
It's still.
Sergeant.
All right, so it seems like we're gonna have to.
What's the joke, President? You got the joke?
The joke lasted suspended.
President, you see, some of these old men have no sense of humor again, so I can't fault them. Thank you very much, President.
Sergeant. He's also rude.
Sergeant.
All right, DP Winston will charge
I'll pay $200, President.
I'll charge you 400 and a discount of 200.
President, is so DP Winston Richard, you're going to charge him 200 US?
Not this time around, first VP. Okay, there are the notices, announcements. Secretary, are you able to read the announcements? I think there are 2. Okay, not here, and so I'll just, there are two announcements from South St. Andrew. Their virtual run walk registration is now open, cost 1,000 for adults and 500 SLP. An email address is in the chat that you can email for further information, as well as the annual luncheon on Friday, November 26th. Cost is $1,800 for jerk chicken and jerk pork. Escovitch fish, $2,000. Any announcements from committee members? I know I saw an announcement from faculty advisor Clifford, who is inviting all of us to the elections tomorrow for the president of the Builders Club of Halfway Tree Primary. So a delegation from Kiwanis Club of North St. Andrew will be there.
President, I just want to use the opportunity just to commend especially the team captains of the various PLG competition. Their efforts have been really commendable. We see it on a daily basis, and we're able to tabulate it on a weekly basis. So I want to commend them and also their team members as to the impact they are having in terms of turning out and participating in the competition. In the interest of time, the information has been posted in our WhatsApp group, and so they will be able to see in terms of the point standings and what other additions we have added to the competition. Thank you, President.
Thank you. DP Kingsley, you have an announcement for tomorrow. You can go ahead and make it, please.
Yes, Pres. I just wanted to say that tomorrow our builders clubs are having a meeting.
Key club.
Sorry. Barry did that to me. Barry, where's Barry? Is he on? But anyways.
Very much so, King.
Our key clubbers, and I'm glad that this is after the secretary, Sarge has gone. But our key clubs are
I'm not sleeping.
Sorry, sir?
I'm not sleeping.
Okay. Tomorrow at, I think it's 4 p.m., our key clubs, they connect the keys. They'll be having a meeting connecting all the keys. That's the key clubs, the builders clubs, the circle keys, and the Kiwanis will all be. They have put on a program that they have put on, and we are all invited to tune in at 4 p.m. All the clubs that are sponsored by North St. Andrew will be taking part. Thank you, President.
Thank you, Chairman Kingsley. We now come to the thought for the week and the benediction.
I'm sorry. The connection has been posted in the various chat groups. Or I'm going to try and post it so that all members here present can tune in.
Okay, thank you, DP Kingsley. The thought for the week and benediction by Chairman Dwayne. Frederick, can move to the next slide, please.
Good night, my fellow Kiwanians. The thought for the week: up, you mighty race. You can accomplish what you will. One of the most famous and strong statements of Marcus Garvey that shows resilience of a nation that can accomplish anything that we put our mind, our thought, and ourselves to. For the benediction, Lord, we are thankful for this day that you have given us for its blessings, its opportunities, its challenges. May we appreciate and use each day that comes to us. We pray for strength and guidance for each day as it comes, for each day's duties, for each day's problems. May we be challenged to give our best always, and maybe we may be assured of your presence with us as we serve the children of the Kiwanis Club. Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Chairman.
yes.
Thank you, Chairman Dwayne. And I note some comments in the chat about the quote, and Builder Christian said it is his favorite quote. So we're glad that we could do that. So this all good things must come to an end. I just want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. I think we had a good meeting, and our presenter was exceptionally good as well, and provided us a lot of information that as a club we need to take into consideration and plan as we move forward in how we ensure that our youth are protected. Thank you everyone for coming, and we look forward to seeing you next week again, same time, same place. This meeting of the Kiwanis Club of North St. Andrew is now terminated. Meeting is terminated. Everyone have a good evening.
Good evening, Prez. Good evening, my
Night.
fellow
Stay safe,
Kiwanians.
everyone.
Rest well. Thank you.
Night, everyone. God bless.
Director Jason. Seems like the presentation was so thought-provoking. Nobody can speak at this time. EP Winston.
President, yours.
Yes, I'm saying it. The presentation was so thought-provoking.
Yeah,
Like
it was.
everybody's still thinking. I can't
Thinking
hear
about
no.
it.
Yes, no word from anyone at all.
We're just waiting for the room to be sanitized. I see a lot of builders still in the room, Chris. Virginie, Tiana.
Yes, IP Michael.
Good night. It was good to have you. Thank you very much. Great participation. Good contribution. Thank you.
Any of the presidents, any of the potential presidents are here, came to the meeting. Which ones?
Virginie, you're one of the potential presidents?
No, sir. I'm going to leave the meeting, sir.
But what position do you hold at your builders club?
Yes, sir, I'm running for treasurer.
Okay, all right, well done. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Tiana? Good night, Tiana.
So I don't think she's there.
Oh.
Justin, good night. Yeah.
Good night. Good night.
What are you running for again? Sergeant of
yes, sir.
So you saw the sergeant at arms in action this evening.
Yes, sir.
But your jokes will be better, right?
Yes, sir. Much better.
Okay, all right, all right.
Oh my.
We need to have a
Good night,
talk,
sir.
Justin. We need to have a talk so that you can give me some of your better jokes.
Yes, sir.
All right. Good night.
Good night, parent. I'm Halfway Tree Primary Builder. Good night, Regine.
Good night, Jalil.
Jalil, leave the meeting.
Bye, Olivia.
Jalil, leave the meeting. All right, I'll make sure.
You have a Dimitri Burke, and you have another
Amani
builder.
Gentles and Mommy.
Amani,
Yes, sir.
thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the meeting.
No, man, I'm
You're
I'm
welcome. It
out.
was a pleasure.
I am.
Okay, good. All right, take care now.
Good night. You too.
Good night. All right, anybody else?
There's a Dimitri Burke that says Halfway Tree.
Dimitri, someone else, hold on. Some people missing from my screen.
No, I not seen him either.
No, the person left.
Oh, okay.
Okay, President, you're gonna call my name too. I have to go to bed now. So
no,
I just love what
no,
you guys do. I like how you do it, really and truly. Yeah.
Is
You
there a
monitor it.
DLG? Is there a DLG Bev from Ligani?
From
No,
Ligani.
There's,
DLG Bev,
there's,
let me go for a bed
Barbican.
now.
It's from Barbican.
Barbican.
No, he's talking to where, he's speaking to where she lives.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. I enjoyed myself. It was good being with you all.
It was good having you.
Thank you so much, DLG Bev. It was
DLG Bev.
Kingsley, wake up. Kingsley, wake up.
Man, I'm never sleeping. I'm always working. But anyway, no, I just wanted to point out. So.
Hi, Kingsley.
Oh,
What's
hi,
up?
my sweetie. You still there?
Yeah, man,
Great.
I'm still here.
Great.
Winston.
Just want to point out.
Yes, Mikey.
You know, from Andrew Married, I first
Michael.
Hold on
Hi,
a little,
Michael. I was just speaking to
let my schoolmate tell me some things. Yes.
Yeah, I was just pointing out that Winston, stop interrupting.
Kingsley,
what
before you move,
Paul was pointing out is
hold on.
All right, let them go.
Hi,
let them
Winston.
go.
Hold on. Yes, Winston.
Please do not go around and tell everybody that you're Kingsley's schoolmate.
Why not?
He has had many hard years.
At Excelsior?
No, since leaving Excelsior.
Oh, since
yeah.
I can vouch for him at Excelsior, boy.
All right, he's at his phone. Let him he's at his phone. Yes, dear GB.
Yeah, man.
What I was saying about Paul's question or what he was prompting. I wanted to have mentioned there are. I noticed that sometimes the key clubbers and Circle Kers just attend our meetings without an invitation or whatever.
Yes.
And we have always had a policy, hey, we are not gonna let you go home or can't find your way home. We're gonna take care of you. And I do know of instances where Kiwanians might have agreed to one Kiwanian in particular. I remember this was very rough to digest, but he said he took, they were asking, where do you live and stuff, and somebody just said like somewhere downtown. I don't know some of them places that too well. But he said when him got here and he said, where you going? He asked, he was left with this young miss. And he said, where you going? And she said, like over there, sir. And when him look and see where it is, him couldn't allow her to go walk all the way over there, sir. So him drive and him find himself in some places with some man, I don't know if it's gone or whatever, and them looking down. I mentioned it just to say though that it is rough. How are we gonna get around something like that? When you're talking to KI, we need
Yeah,
to
I
have
actually
those
just about to
instances
pen
like
an
this.
email to Melissa.
The thing
Because
is,
it's
the thing is, King, DP and DLG, the Kiwanis International is making up, is putting forward these criteria, these restrictions,
for Americans,
for persons in a different local whose circumstances, social and economic, are
and
much
also
different from
and
ours.
also based on their experiences
And their culture, exactly. Whilst I fully endorse the background check to make sure that you at least have a way, because you still can't guarantee, but there's a methodology to make sure that the people who are tending to to the youth, to the children, are at least of some form of repute that you would be comfortable. Whilst I can agree with that, some of the restrictions that are put on, such as the one that DP Paul spoke to, is very impractical. One of the ways that works, is because in those places you don't have the type of, well, their transportation system is different from ours.
yeah, but okay. Whereas I understand what you're saying, DP Michael. Let's look at it now.
Hold on, DP.
Yeah, man.
DLG,
Well, I let the puss out the bag. All right. Look here. What I'm saying is, IPP, is that in Jamaica, it is even the case that you just mentioned, that they went downtown, and when he looked over there, wasn't he alone with these students in the car? Wasn't he alone?
Yes, that's
right.
Correct.
So it stands to reason if he had two other of your fellow Kiwanis with him, it would have more backup, more, you understand what I'm saying?
Difficult task to DLG. As a matter of fact, he was the only person willing to take the risk to go down there.
That is another thing.
But DLG, no, actually, whilst you may think that it would have been better to have a second person, what probably saved him was the fact that there was not a car of men.
When you say I want to endorse what you have said about the various things that Kiwanis, KI impose on us because we have a different culture. But we now in Jamaica have to come up with something for our culture that is really going to help. Because one, I think Kingsley spoke to the children, our youth, just appearing at our meetings. Whereas we enjoy them coming, but they ought to say, we will be interclubbing with you today. We expect about 5 of us. And then here is it now. You know that those 5 that are coming may need ride home. So then you start figuring out how we're going to get them home, because you don't want to drop them halfway and they don't, you know what I mean? So all of those things will have to change at some point in time, because things are getting worse. And if you can't plan, and we have to now sit and plan a lot of times now for our youth, how we're gonna help them. Because when you say they just appear, now they're online, it's okay, but when you get back face to face, and they just come, because you have the majority of I think your work is cut out. You have more SLPs than any other club.
No, but DLG Bell, as you mentioned a while ago, we have more SLP than any other clubs. We have 9 key clubs. When we are meeting face to face and it's key club week, I will normally accommodate our key clubs on that particular night. If you even say 5 members per club. That's 45 key clubbers. You're
So you
saying
guess what you'd have to plan to know? You'd have to say in your budgeting, annual budget, you say, no, for Key Club Week, we know that we always have a lot of key club, and there is the possibility that half of them that are going to come don't know how they're reaching home. So we would say to our members of the board and the SLP committee, let us budget for a little coaster bus that will come to the meeting.
More than half from experience. More than
right.
half.
So you budget
but
for
if we use the coaster bus, they're not going to reach home for the night.
What time?
No, I'm just saying coaster bus, but
No, it's
they're not going to reach home for the night. Till 1 o'clock we'll be
I want to ask a different question. I want to say something different.
Can I finish what I'm saying?
Yeah, go ahead, Vincent, and then I finish answering.
What I'm saying is that you would have invited 5 members per club. That is 45 members, 45 youngsters that lives whether it's within close proximity to where we meet or not. And the regulation states that you need to have 3 persons with one SLT. Oh, that's going to be onerous.
No. 3 persons not with one. I think this whole thing where what they're talking about.
DLG Bev, if I understand it clearly, is that at any given time,
3 persons
when you are
should be in the
off
car. Yes.
Final one, 3 persons.
3 persons should be there.
Yeah.
Right.
So therefore, it is onerous, and that is something that we need to look at realistically and formulate something to carry.
I'm gonna write to Melissa and she can respond.
DLG, here's the question or the
sorry, IPP. Or IPP, I just want to, while it's clear in my mind, no, I just want to say something on this, because you're not the only club that has mentioned this to me in terms of their youth coming to their meetings. They don't know they're coming, and so they don't have nothing much planned for them. No, I think we have to sit down and work through how can we, especially in Key Club Week or in K Family Month, what special can we do to be able to find out from schools before meetings how many of them they think would need transportation to go back home, etc., and plan for it.
But DLG, I want to put something before we get to that solution, because there's a problem that I have with that solution.
Okay.
We are saying that our advisors, firstly, before our Kiwanian advisors are advisors, they're Kiwanians, that we would have had a certain level of comfort with as decent persons. Then we say you are going to be key advisors, and we're going to go a little bit further by having you do a background check so that we are even more comfortable with you being around your youth. Right. So we have taken those measures to make sure that the persons that we have put the care of the children in are of a particular background. Yeah. We have done none of that for any taxi or bus driver. Why would we then authorize or pay for or then hire somebody who we don't know who them be, where they're from, to take home the children if the concern is the children being
No, we're not saying you. No, that is
but that's what it comes down to. If the solution,
but you would not send them alone in the taxi. Would you say no? If you're renting a bus, you're not going to leave the bus driver to take them home alone. Somebody going to go with them.
But might
and
as
that's
well
when you need to have a chaperone.
Might as well the person come in my vehicle then.
But DLG Bev, the point is we're not going to reach home that night, because
exactly
if you have a
but
bus,
it's something that you would have
about. Think about the
it calls for a lot
The
of planning and
DPOs,
thinking through.
that take up their workers at night. You know, those people is 3 o'clock, some of them reach home because they're going from one point to the next.
President,
Some of them are in Spanish Town, some in or some in downtown, some uptown.
So by the time the bus driver finish and then to take me back to
hold
Police
this up.
Officers Club so I can drive
Hold
home.
on now. Hear this now. You are having Key Club week, and I'm just trying to think it through.
Right.
You're gonna have Key Clubbers coming, you're gonna have your builders coming. Whomever the chairman for SLP and whoever is planning this meeting definitely would need to find out from the schools how many of your children are going to be coming to our meeting. So halfway through says we have 20, and they coming with a faculty advisor. How many? One second. Can I just finish? 1 minute. How many of those 20? And you're speaking to the faculty advisor now, Miss. How many of these 20 kids are going to need a drive home? What is their location, and etc. etc. So you're going to work out and have a little matrix set up for those and say, okay, that's for halfway tree. When at the end of the day, when you're finished and you look at your information that you have, you're going to say, okay, for halfway tree, we're going to need a car, or we may have to hire a bus to take home the ones that we have. You notice I don't say taxi. I don't say taxi unless the club know of a taxi driver or taxi drivers. But you're going to look at that information you received from your schools and work on a transportation to take them home. Sit down and work it out. What is going to be the cost? How many persons can we take? How many Kiwanians can go with them, and so on?
No,
we will have to reach that stage.
I think you're missing. No,
DLG Bev, DLG Bev.
DLG.
With all good, that is correct theoretically, but with all good intentions, and we have tried all of this that you're proposing. We have said to clubs only 5 persons or 5 SLP per club, and when they turn up, 10 per club turn up, right? We can't tell them to go back home and leave 5.
And so this is the culture of us in Jamaica. How do we fix it? How do we fix
correct.
It? Look here, if I write to Melissa.
And if we hold on, Mikey, and DLG Bev, if we are working with kids, we cannot turn away kids, and we need to understand that.
Yeah.
Because if you are going to say to a kid, you cannot visit with us in order to see how we operate, what are we doing for the kids? Yeah. You're sending that kid worse than how you started.
All right,
we need to be realistic.
And we need to now, guys, what do we do if when we write to Melissa and we say this part of the youth protection guidelines for transportation? One second, let me finish. Winston, let me finish.
Yeah, man, I'm listening.
We say that this part can't work in Jamaica. You need to fix it, or we need to do something specific to our country. How do we do it? No, because that's what my proposal is.
What needs to happen, DLG Bev, is that the clubs that have these whole heap of SLP clubs need to sit down and formulate a way forward that we can deal with, and then you can send a proposal to KI.
Yeah, and remember because we've had so many.
Remember, we are trying to build the youth. We are trying to help the youth. If we go about it the North American way, we are going to lose some of these youth.
Yeah, but
it makes no sense.
Youth and Kiwanians, because some
and Kiwanians, because we turn off Kiwanians.
Remember, guys.
That is
very
North American.
We are still under the auspices of Kiwanis International. Kiwanis International is not going to pick out Jamaica.
listen, Bev.
But
We need,
Kiwanis
maybe
International
Bev,
cannot be
maybe
American. Kiwanis
maybe
is named
we need to move
International, not
away
America.
from Kiwanis International and take care of our
Now you're
children.
going into another topic. So what
Yeah.
I'm going to suggest here is we have LGs who will can advocate for clubs. And this is why if we want to see anything change or any, and I'm not speaking about youth protection alone, no, because I can kind of deal with this through Melissa to see what can happen, because the governor just wrote me an email to say if I have anything to put forward to the board. Read this. I can't just pick this out and give it to him. I have to go through Melissa first. But what I'm saying is when we want to see changes that we would like to have taking place, we need to just formulate something and tell LG this is what we want to see, this change in whatever it is. Because we are rich, very rich in terms of our SLPs, especially North St. Andrew. And we are based on some of these guidelines and policies from international, we will have to work out how do we deal with it with our children.
And
Because
we
they're
need
not
we
going
need
to
to
change anything to suit us.
no, but we need but we know what has happened and what has been happening for decades is that we as a people in Jamaica sit back and allow North America to dictate to us. We need to move away from that sort of dictatorship.
But what is North St. Andrew going to do about that in terms of moving away? We have a democracy and we can speak.
That's why I'm saying.
LG,
that's
with
why
any change that you want to see. It might not go through, because
some of us are weak.
But by the time it reach, let me tell you something. By the time it reach ECNC, it is shut down. So you have to come good with whatever.
Yes, because we are weak, Bev.
Well, you probably need to get some strong LGs to put forward some things that you would like to see change. Because the youth, I'm telling you, I'm just dying to see the risk management report, because there are problems with the youth. And I don't even have to go any further than California to say what is happening.
I don't have a problem with the guidelines, except for in terms of, in principle, in terms of what it is there for. What we're saying is that a lot of the solutions that they have created are solutions for North American reality.
But IPP, Michael, case in point, why does a faculty advisor need to do a background check and they already have a check with their school?
President Dwayne. I went through that. Hold on a second, Michael. Let me answer, President. Because I've heard that so many times. Why does a faculty advisor have to have a background check when they have one already? Remember the two scenarios that I pointed out? The two scenarios. One where the faculty advisor remains, they don't go anywhere under Kiwanis banner, saying that they're leaving campus with these kids and coming out without a background. One second, hold on. No, wait, let me answer.
But DLG, Bev, I understand that, you know.
Let me finish that now. There are provisions made for that. The faculty advisor who you guys are giving me a chance.
My question is that why is it that these laws or whatever it is superseding all laws of our land?
What is our laws? Because we're a part of an international company.
No.
And that's
Kiwanis. But international cannot supersede
DLG Bev. In this country, nobody, no business, nothing based on our laws, should come in here and lay down any laws that supersedes our laws.
No, but then you have chosen to be a part of Kiwanis International.
No, remember,
international company.
Yeah, but we are part of international.
That one not waste time. Sorry, that one not waste time.
I am
not going to fly.
Why is it only
an
North
international
America
company
and the
comes here and set up business. They have to operate based on our laws.
Wait, let me say something. Let me say something. The Americans, the great America, that has all of these laws and have gone and signed and not signed and have agreed to numerous conventions, to include the Geneva Convention. They have not signed on to most of these because what they do is, in principle, they agree with it, but they will not exactly. And so I'm looking at it from the perspective, now that you mentioned that about laws, that we can agree to have to in principle abide by their youth protection guidelines, but not sign to certain things. I don't know.
But no, you can't. No, you can't.
That is correct.
But DLG, why is it only America and Caribbean has to go through this space?
Exactly.
It means that the other countries do not agree to it.
No,
they're doing their own thing.
Hold on. No, they're not.
Yes, they're using their country law.
No, I pointed out the US and the Caribbean. If you notice in the script that I had reading from, the other countries also go through. Canada, they go through their Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Yes, their country, so why don't we go through Jamaica?
No, because Jamaica too unscrupulous. That's
no, that is
that is rude. DLG Bev, that is rude.
No, that is my answer. That is my answer.
Yeah, but that is the
US uses.
If you're going to the United States of America, you have to get
the US uses our background check for other reasons. So why can't
I don't know. But guess what?
It seems to me like it's a money-making
venture for somebody. It's a profit-making for KI.
Yes, it is a money-making venture for somebody, and it is not in the best interest of
Club of North St. Andrew. You have a platform in which you can present your case, which will be taken to ECNC, and if it is passed there, it will be taken to Kiwanis International Convention, where they make a ruling. You have a platform to do it.
But we have asked this already, and they said no, we cannot do
it. It will not go further because we as a people are weak.
No, but
no, you can't say it before you try.
One second, let me just say
put your case on the table.
We contribute. Listen, I can't afford to lose our membership. We contribute a whole lot.
Before we get there, let me just say something.
You're backing off.
We're missing something here. We are missing something here.
Yes, we're missing the fact that this thing is a money-making.
Hold on.
One company worldwide doing all of these checks.
Hold on. No, before we get there, DP.
But you see, Jamaica Constabulary Air Force, they're going back too.
Hello. And you know that in Jamaica, we just pay like a man of money and him just come up with a clean background check and gone through. You think the people don't know that?
DLG, hold on.
Yes. I'm listening.
Let me.
VP Tanisha, listen carefully.
As the person inside. As the person
Tanisha, help.
It's too hard listening to them, man. Come on, one at a time.
But Tanisha, I have told these men already. Wait a minute.
Something. As a security expert. No, as a security expert. No, hold on, as a security expert.
But
as somebody who has been in
business now. President, you need to referee these
It's not
men.
about army. It's not about army, DLG.
Hold on.
Eh,
It's
go
not,
ahead,
it's not
go
about
ahead.
army. Let us understand what a background check is.
Yes.
And how a background check is done. And a background check requires that you don't just get a police record.
Mm-hmm.
It is part of what you do because you're checking to see whether or not the person has committed any crime. However, that can only be done in Jamaica. So if them going to check, a part of it must be your police
Yeah,
record,
them have
which
to
means,
come back through
And they, of
JCN.
course, and
Them
it
have to
says,
come back through them.
which means
hold
you
on,
have to,
and it
so that's one
states,
thing. So that's
it
one thing.
certainly says that they are going to check your criminal background of your territory. So they come back to Jamaica.
which DLG, which means therefore that we don't need them for that because they have to come here. They cannot provide a police record for me. They cannot provide a police record.
Michael, this conversation has been had so many times.
No,
over
but
and
DLG,
over.
just listen to me now. Just listen to what I'm
But
saying.
we need not to give up. We need to continue the conversation. And that is why we're not getting anywhere because we're giving up.
Because it makes no sense.
Whether it was done yesterday, tomorrow, or the other day, we need to keep beating at it and let them know that we need to be.
Let me hear what Michael is saying. Michael, go ahead. What you saying?
All right. So the background check, it includes the police record that, as I said, must be done in Jamaica. So therefore, their argument about them doing it now have no basis because it's a Jamaican who's going to do it in any case. It's the same place that I get it that they're going to come and
right.
The other thing is that the next step beyond the background check is that you must go into the person's community, where them work, where them live, where they socialize. You have to go in and collect intelligence.
Information, right, yeah.
You collect information that's going to drive the intelligence to
Judy wants to be admitted. Judy wants, she's in already?
She's in, I've admitted her.
So
therefore, all of that I'm saying, for you, in order for you to do a background check on me, you must be in my locale.
Yes, of course. And that's what they do through Safe Hiring.
No, but who are they doing it through? I know all of the people
Safe
locally
Hiring.
who do background check.
Safe
and I'm
Hiring.
saying, if
Safe
you're going
Hiring.
Who's Safe Hiring? Where are they from?
You need to check that. I don't have their address or anything, but
I'm going
Safe
to check
Hiring.
who Safe Hiring is.
You check that out, yeah.
Safe Hiring is not one of the people. Safe Hiring is somebody who
but Michael, you don't know. You don't know.
I don't. The fact that I don't know.
I don't think Kiwanis International, being an international company, would go and get any dibby to do this because it's a serious
I'm not
matter.
saying that. I'm not saying
but
that.
just like us, we're not getting a DVD to do ours.
DLG. Safe Hiring is a company in the United States.
Right.
How are you providing a background check for me in Jamaica out of the United States? What are you? How are you checking me?
They check you through the local territory law enforcement people here in Jamaica. That's why it takes about 2 weeks. That's why it takes about 2 weeks.
A proper background check cannot be done in 2 weeks.
You can't do it remotely.
Young gentlemen, listen. I've put a case before you already, and I hear everybody. There's some of the things I can't answer to because we are a part of Kiwanis International. We have bylaws, and we are run through whatever it is that they say. Hold on, Mike. Please let me finish. Whatever it is that Kiwanis lay down a lot of things. It's distinguished thing, and everybody grab it up and run with it because they want a club to be distinguished. Nobody questions much. Nobody writes out any to counteract anything. Nobody takes anything to the convention to say we are not in agreement, and you want to move it further. That's why you have LGs.
Infringe on my right.
No, but if you think they're infringing on your right, Michael, you need to write up what the word name. Somebody help me with it. What you call the thing when you write petition? A petition.
No, but that is
St.
exactly.
Andrew.
No, but
you have to do that.
but DLG Bev.
We are one, Mike, I'm sorry. We have been given information that Kiwanis International says this is what they're asking us, being a part of their program, international program. This is what is expected of us. This is what they're asking us to do. Some things that we don't really like out of it.
Bev.
What you need
Put the
to do,
challenge to them,
Winston,
DLG, Bev. Put the
would
challenge
you-
to them with a
yes,
timeline.
and I'm
They're
saying
not
that
going to do
North
it. They
St.
just want
Andrew
talk.
needs to now put pen to paper and say we have a petition and we would like to have our LG document something and put
No,
it
them just
forward to
want
the
talk
take
of
it to the
fellowship.
board
Bev,
of
They're not going to do it.
but
and
Bev,
then take
Winston,
it
you lead
further
the charge.
so that it moves.
Bev,
So,
you
that's all I
said
have to
earlier
tell you
on
guys
that is
tonight.
not only North St.
EP
Andrew.
Tanisha, why you say we're not
And
gonna
what I've suggested, DLG Bev, is that all the clubs who have these large groups of SLPs to contend with, right, is to come together, formulate something. Because
No,
it's
I
affecting
can't push
all of
that.
us.
I cannot push. I am the carrier of the documents, and I learn them and I read them through. And so I cannot advocate for you. I can only say no. 1 second. We have had a meeting, and I want clarification on this 3 to a car instead of 2. Please, can I have a clarification to go back to my people and say this is what it is? No,
right,
if you are
that is
having a
what
challenge, hold on, you are having a challenge, and I say you meaning North St. Andrew, your club has really spoken out at all times about it. And I've had a meeting already with you guys where you all expressed this view of of the background check. Another club expressed their view, but not as forceful as you, because after a while they understand why it is, because they are now a part of the organization. If they either don't be a Kiwanis advisor or they just come off. They have a choice. They have a choice.
DLG Bev, we are not against the background check.
No, but you have
no.
A
we are
challenge
not
with
against,
it.
No,
you
we are
have
not
a challenge.
Against it. We have a challenge of how it is done. We are not against it.
And you don't know.
It's two different things.
The people says to you, we have hired Safe Hiring to do the background check.
And we are saying,
Michael says that's not how a background check is done.
We are saying
so you
that
guys
we have
intimate knowledge of
no,
how
we
a
are
background
saying
check
that
is
we
done.
What's the challenge,
the means.
though, and what you propose?
We are saying that we have the means.
You do what we do.
We have the means.
It can't be the background check
it.
that we do here.
What's that?
They're not.
No, we don't do a background check.
It can't be the security. It can't be that police
what
report
we
that you're talking about.
Any background checks done from Jamaica.
Tanisha, what we do here
has to be
is
done
not a
through
background
Safe
check.
Hiring.
No, is it the police report you're talking
it's
about?
Not a background. No, it's not a background check. It's a police record.
Sign up to do that now about 3 months down the line. You're going to get it or going to do it. And then that costs like what? How much more money than what KI is charging?
No,
so what is the real issue?
But you see, we have a choice.
The issue I have.
We have a choice. You have a choice.
The issue
if you never had a choice, I could not sit here and talk with you. But you do have a choice. And they clearly state, if you're having a problem with your Kiwanis advisors who either don't want to do the background check or they haven't done it and they're struck off, find somebody else who will do. And they will always keep striking off people who you report online that they're your Kiwanis advisor. They're going to strike them off if they don't have a background.
The problem I have, DLG, and I think we have strayed and come right around to something that is different from where we started. My problem is not so much background checking, because whilst I don't think it is a proper background check, that satisfies KI and it's cheaper than doing it locally. So fine, you want to do a little dibby something and you accept it and say that you're comfortable with it, you go ahead and do that. My issue is the other thing, is with the other things that they're putting in the pot. The other restrictions.
Like you named one this evening, the two persons, which I said I'm going to deal with. Which are the others?
No,
what are the others?
No, let's discuss. If we discuss all of them and we find problem, that's where I'm having. But the critical problem I'm having is that particular one where you cannot
from your meeting and the solution that you were giving about hiring
no,
bus
but
and
Michael,
that to me
Michael,
doesn't work. That is where we were
Michael, I
having
said to
the
you,
discussion.
Michael, I said to you, I cannot change what they have put in their script. I will then now find out, because DP Paul has mentioned it and he has gone through with explanation on it. And I know, as your representative, will now have to write to Melissa to ask her, give me some more details about this. Do I have the proper understanding of it? Is it that there is something else to it? Let me know so I can take it back. And I promise that I will do that.
I understand that. And in the meantime, what we can do is look at what is more workable, or make sure that Melissa understands that that requirement for us, if it is as it is stated, it is going to be a challenge for us to be able to. In fact, it is almost virtually impossible for us to carry that out because of the complexities that we have discussed here tonight.
ICP, Michael, the suggestion is that you guys sit and formulate your counter suggestions then. So I'm sure if you ask each member now, then what do you propose we do? You guys will have different positions. So the idea, I think, is for you guys to sit down and say, this is what we believe can work. And I think that's what DLG Bev is saying. You guys need to formulate your position.
Listen, guys, thank you. And one person taking 5 builders or 5 key clubbers to a destination